Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly watch list where we look at our levels for the week as well as what we're looking to take coming into Monday, as well as earnings and the news going on the week. So let's get started. Starting with the earnings as per usual, going over this, we really don't have anything significant. Zoom on Monday, maybe after close. Um, HP maybe. That's it. Nothing. I mean, this week is dead on earnings, which is always great to see, especially in the tech sector with what we trade. Earnings can be great, but they also can be a pain in the ass, and I personally don't like to deal with them. Going into this week with news, Monday is practically zero news relevant to what we do. Tuesday is going to be pretty mild as well. At open or near open at 9 a.m. we have S&P CS Composite, 20 HPI and HPI MM. 10 a.m. we have CB Consumer Confidence, New Home Sales, and Richmond Manufacturing Index. Pretty mild day. Now, Wednesday is going to be slammed. Wednesday is a massive news day. This is a day maybe even potentially scale down depending on kind of what types of structure we get, what type of setups, and especially a day I don't think to be taking anything off open as close as the news is and close to right off open. So all the news that's surrounding our open here. So something to really just basically, I think this type of news structure here is going to be one where we have to identify if we're going to get a chop market day or not really early on. And so it's hard to know that right off open, almost really impossible. If we have a chop market day, it's going to be really hard to identify a proper continuation move at all whatsoever, or even potentially just a quick scalp because we might not even get it. So something to be aware of. We have prelim GDP at 8:30 a.m. on the unemployment claims, core durable goods orders, prelim GDP index, good trades balance, prelim wholesale inventories. At 9:45 we have Chicago PMI. 10 a.m. we have core PCE price index, pending home sales, personal income personal spending Then we have crude oil inventories at 10:30 a.m. and then at 12 p.m. we have natural gas shortage, and that's about all we need to know for news relevant to what we do. Going into Thursday, this is a bank holiday. I'm not sure if this is going to cause for cash accounts like myself and other smaller traders. This is going to be a bigger issue. If you got a really small cash account, your buying power. If this is a bank holiday, typically bank holidays do affect your buying power, and so your buying power from the previous day is going to translate over to the next day. It's going to transverse over to Thursday. So if you only had 2,000, say after having 5,000 day before on your 5K account, you're only going to have 2K to trade with Thursday. Something to be very hyper aware of. And honestly, it's Thursday. You should really only be one and done, honestly, on this day. If you stop out, max 2 a day, right? So shouldn't be too big of an issue, but just something I want to make aware of for the chat, for stock hours, and any other new students coming here to learn from this video. Next thing's going to be on Friday. Really, honestly, no news at all whatsoever that I can identify worth making any note of here for what we do. So the weekly watch list this week, starting off in the markets, we have on ES some pretty mild, significant levels. Nothing really crazy. 6,015 here. Probably 6,020 would be one. Just a local psychological level. It's not going to be anything really too crazy. We really are starting to see some upside sentiment structure here, without a doubt. You can just kind of identify here. I have some structured up, trends here. Not a channel. Really, this is starting to form into a pretty notable channel here. But yeah, we formed a flat top here, and this looks very prime for breakout here coming into Monday morning into the 6,020 level, and just kind of cracking through these recent highs and what have you, right into the area back up to where we had that previous high a few months back. A few weeks back. So just something to be aware of is just, this is an uptrend sentiment development here on this on ES on futures, as well as going into the NQ as well. So like I said, these levels weren't too significant on ES. As you can see on NQ as well, we have these two gaps here, forming here on NQ at 59.91.25 and then 6,006, and then on NQ this gap is going to be at the 20,875 to 20,929 level. Okay, so very similar structure development here on futures, correlational to NASDAQ here. So we're just looking at another upside here. It's not as strong as futures, but NASDAQ has definitely formed that kind of uptrend sentiment here for sure. You can just identify that, especially over the longer time frames. I have a charted channel development here as well, just two channel structures, structured uptrends. And so, yeah, we're kind of just forming an ascending pennant right now and going into a pretty notable positive rallying setup. Okay, so something to be really aware of this week is upside plays are going to probably be more preferred as long as we follow this structure, right? So my main watch this week actually is going to be Tesla, Meta, and then my side I'm going to have here. They're a little bit further, Apple, AMD, and Google. Okay, usually I don't mention the sides, but we only have two mains here, so it's going to be pretty quick. Tesla, this is probably going to be the main trades for the week. If anything, most of my trades, I can already tell based off the structure here. The rallying is pretty notable. If anything, we might even see 400. We'll just see what the buyers decide to do, what banks and institutions decide they want to put in liquidity-wise. But coming into Monday for sure, looking at the 360 level, I know that the stock hours chat is probably going to be looking a little bit higher because we've already tested this. However, I personally really like this here at 360. Now, something to really just make note of, and I just know how this works, honestly, is that at 360 level here, this is probably already going to be absolutely obliterated by Monday, and it's not even really a point in saying that's where I would take it, because honestly, we're probably going to be close to 365 off open on Monday. If anything, we might even be approaching 370. Who knows? We might just get a crazy rally overnight since we've had all this buying pressure from the recent election, right, with the tie-in of Trump. So this is not, I mean, we're obviously going to have, I know for a fact that the interns and what have you are probably going to be looking at this level. Obviously, it's just the obvious setup, but I can almost guarantee you this is going to have already broken coming in tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be looking at 365, developed based on the structure, probably into it from a pre-market high or a recent local high as a pre-market high as another add into my position, and then a 365 break of scaling out half, and then I have my recent my latest level of resistance going to be from a previous daily support level, or sorry, resistance at 367.70. I'll be looking to get out of the majority of my position, if not all of it. If only I get out the last half, I'll get down another quarter or 2/3 of that final half. I'll look to only have a little bit of runners left for 370 there as my final target as well. So that's going to be the main one there. My second watch, they're both really A+, honestly. Basically, the structure is really nice. I would say that Tesla's a little bit higher for me. I'd say this is about an A+, A-ish. Meta looking at 550 here. Now, this is a little bit far. The structure is a little bit far for sure. I do have upside and downside here. I just forgot to put my upside charts here. I have it all written down on my watch. Would be the 570 level for sure. Upside on Meta, and then downside is going to be the 555 and the 550 area. I meant to mention 555. I don't know if the chat's going to be looking at 555. It is a little bit of a higher risk here, given that we are in a little bit more of a chop. But to me, the chop is just so minute and negligible that I'm not even considering this chop here yet. It was like 2 days of price action and liquidity movement there. So I'm not really looking at that as chop. I'm looking at that as a range that we tried to hold below and we failed to do so. And we're coming and approaching back in here really with almost a triple bottom development here. If anything, you could call this a basic head and shoulder structure almost, in a sense. Not really, but it's following its lines of that theory there. So 555, target probably 554. Just a quick scalp since it's not as crazy high level. 554.20 right there. 554. And honestly, I probably won't be taking this as a long hold. Just depends on the weakness we get. If this shows pretty immense weakness off open compared to the market sentiment, this is going to be a longer hold for sure. I'll probably be looking to see 550 as target on my last half, or probably a quarter. Be out most of my position likely by 553 if we get there. So just something to be aware of. Actually, I did forget to mention my third main watch for some reason. I don't have it written down. Is going to actually be Netflix. I do not like this company. I've never been a fan of it. Spreads are shit. Contracts have very low volume. It doesn't move the best. But the contracts, when they do move, they move, right? When we have an actual genuine movement, sort of like, I forget what day, it might have been here last Thursday, I believe. We also had our trader, I think it was, it was George. I think maybe it was last week. Yeah, he caught it on Tuesday, a 130% move. This company loves to move when it does move, right? So this is a valid trade for, even though that risk is there with the contracts and the volume being so poor, and it being more of a choppy company that does not tie into any market. It is an independent company that's not relevant to the NASDAQ, unlike our other tech companies. It still does present a valid setup here with immense amount of strength from, I believe it was some form of news. It was a news, I can't remember what the news was, but it was definitely a news-related rallying, similar to like Tesla with the election news. So this is going to be my third primary watch for the week, 9:15 here at Netflix. I'll be looking to take this at 9:14-ish, depending on how we approach, without a doubt. So going to my quick side watches, I'm not going to mention Google. Actually, it's not worth mentioning, and I'm just going to briefly cover these because we're already getting a little long in the video here. Going to be going over Apple and AMD really quickly. Apple is a bit of, like I said, subpar. I'd say this is probably a C+ setup at the 231 area into 231.50. And 232 level. This is anything crazy, but this is starting to actually show strength in relation to the actual market right now currently. The market is strong, but I'm seeing that Apple starting to showcase a bit of its own notable strength as well here. So we'll come in to see, what this type kind of setup wants to do here coming into Monday. Might just be one of those ones I don't end up taking it all because I have just something so much higher approaching, like Tesla and Meta, what have you, and Netflix. But it's just something I thought I'd make note of in case all of those somehow end up rejecting, right? AMD is going to be my final watch here to mention to you guys. We have the level I'm looking at is 141 here off these local highs, off of the actual price, the actual significant key level. I'm looking at the 140.77 high as entry, potentially, maybe even earlier at the 140.28 local high. And that's going to be about it. That's the whole trade. A 70-cent catch through the 141 break should pay notable. And this is also showcasing some of its own strength, similar to Apple. And the video isn't as long as I thought, so we're going to go ahead and cover Google really fast. Google formed a beautiful bear flag here. This is about, I think, is theoretically perfect of a bear flag I think you can get almost, based off its structure. Now it is still Google though, right? Something to be aware of. It is a subpar company, a shit stock, as we like to say. So I need to see kind of the right structure formation here. I don't want to see, basically a triple bottom form here and have a rejection and get, stopped out. So I'm not looking to take this early at all whatsoever. I'm looking to take this probably with a close below 164. And if it can't do that and it's just a quick sweep of liquidity, then I'm just not going to be looking to take it. It's probably going to be a liquidity sweep and a rejection straight through back upside and have an engulfment. So I'm definitely looking to see this take this at 164 below with a closure below. Key term is closure below. And so that's that. Like I said, overall, guys, that's going to be the watch list for this week. We have a pretty nice setups here. I'd say Tesla and Meta all together. Excited to see what this week brings. I think this is going to be a very phenomenal week as long as we maintain that, psychological, strength, and we don't, break our rules. We stick to our psychological, sense of what we need to do, how we need to do it, not overtrade, and just be the best traders we can be. Don't overthink it. This is just trading. They stop rocket science, right? At the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of probabilities and a lot of uncertainties. We never have certainties. We only have probabilities, right? So we're going to always play the highest probable outcome. Was the stop loss high probable? Then you took the right move and you took it. If you took a stop loss, then you took the right move. If the profit was the higher probable move and you took profit, you took the right move. It's that simple. All right. So just a quick little final note there, I guess, to end off this weekly watch list, guys. So I appreciate you all watching. Leave me a comment, subscribe, comment, like always. DM me on Instagram. Follow me for one-on-ones, for any personal, free messages, any advice, psychological or technical wise. I'm always open to questions, guys. Always free. And I appreciate you for watching. Thank you very much. And let's kill it this week as usual. Peace.